This is going to be a challenge video, and here is the challenge. Imagine you are a doctor or some sort of scientist and you want to have a look of your patient's detail. I want you to show some information about the patient and after that give the user some options for checking different organs. For example, in here, if I select one for the left eye, I can see the details about that eye, and maybe if it's open, I want to close it. I know that the doctor doesn't have the power to open and close the patient's eye, but I just wanted to define some behavior for the patient's eye. Let's check the other scenarios as well. For example, if you want to check the heart's condition, you can see the heart rate and also the medical condition of the heart. I also have a method called change rate in which I can change the rate of the heart. For example, if I try to do that, I can say increase the heart rate to 75. Let's check other organs, for example, the stomach. You can see some details about the stomach. Let's digest some food. You can see that digesting has begun. Also, the skin, maybe you can see some information about the skin, no extra behavior. And also another option for quitting the application. If I put 6, application will be closed. This is a really simple application and I want you to practice the object-oriented programming in this application. For example, I want you to create a basic organ class and after that create 4 new classes for each organ and then extend each of those classes from the basic organ class. Also create a patient class in which it will use the composition to compose all of these organs together. Okay, pause the video in here and come back when you have finished creating this application. I hope you solved the challenge, but if not, that's okay. We are going to create our application in here. Okay, let's begin. I'm going to start by creating that organ class that I was talking about. Let's say organ. Minimize this window for now. I know that every organ would have a name, so let's put a name. Also, I'm going to define another field in here for defining the different medical condition of every organ. Let's call it medical condition. I don't think we need anything else in here, just a constructor and maybe getters and setters. I can use the help of IntelliJ in order to create those getters and setters. I'm not sure that I'm going to use all of these getters and setters. I will create them and later on, if I never use them, I will delete whichever I never used. I'm going to define another method in here, another public method for getting the details of every organ. Public void get details, let's call it. I'm just going to print the name and the medical condition of every organ. I can have access to the name of this organ by typing this.name. Similarly for our medical condition. Let's say medical condition plus this.medical condition. I don't think we need anything else in this class, so let's create those 4 organs. The first one is eye. I want to keep it really simple and keep this video really short, so I'm not going to define all the features about the eye. For that, I'm going to just define a color for the eye and also a boolean in order to indicate if the eye is open or not. Later on, we will see how we can use this. Okay, let's extend this eye from organ class and let's create our constructor. Also, we need to override the getDetails method. I'm using Ctrl O once again if you are confused in order to open this dialog. GetDetails. After the super statement, I'm going to show the color of the eye as well. This way, we are both showing the organ details, for example, the name and the medical condition from this basic organ class, and also the color of the eye. I'm going to define 2 more methods for opening and closing of the eye. Let's say open. You can say this dot is open to true. After that, let's just print something to indicate that the eye has been opened. Similar for closing of the eye. Public void close. This dot is open is equal to false. The message may be closed. Let's overwrite the getters and setters as well. The next organ is the heart. For the heart, I'm just going to define a rate as the field and nothing else, just to keep it simple. It's time to extend from organ class, constructor, get details method, and let's print the heart rate as well. This dot rate. If you remember, I need another method in order to increase or decrease the heart rate. Let's call it change rate. We need to receive a new rate in here, and I can say this dot rate, which refers to the field up in here, is equal to the new rate that we are receiving. Getters and setters for the rate. The next organ is stomach. For the stomach, I'm going to define a boolean indicating if the stomach is empty or not. Later on, we will see how we can use this. Extend from organ class and create the constructor. Get details method. In here, instead of just printing something, I'm going to check if the stomach is empty or not. If it's empty, I'm going to set need to be fed, but else I just can simply print the stomach is full. I need another method in here called digest in order to indicate the digesting of the food. I'm just going to print digesting begin. Let's create the getters and setters as well. The last organ is skin. Let's create that class as well. For the skin, I'm going to define two fields. One for the color, string color, and also an integer indicating the softness of the skin. Let's call it softness. Extend from the organ class and create your constructor. I'm not going to define any behavior for this skin. Instead, I'm just going to create the getters and setters. Once again, I'm not sure that I'm going to use all of these getters and setters. I will delete them if I don't need them later on. Okay, let's create our patient class. Patient. Our patient would have a name, private string name, an age, private int age, and also two eyes, private eye. Let's call it left eye. This is called composition, if you remember from the previous video. Composing different classes into one class or maybe more classes. Right eye, a heart, also private stomach, let's call it the stomach, and private skin. Let's create our constructor and also our getters and setters. I think we have created all the classes that we need, so let's create our main class in order to run our application. We need the main method, so psvm pressing tab. First of all, I'm going to create my patient object. I'm calling it object, but of course we shouldn't look to the patient as an object, but programmatically speaking, this is the object. I'm going to call it object is equal to new patient. In here I need a name, let's call it Tom, and age maybe 45, I can go to the next line in order to see better what am I creating. We need a left eye. I can say new eye. For the eye constructor, I need a name. I'm going to call it left eye. I need a medical condition. Basically, this is not necessary, but I'm just going to show some medical conditions like short-sighted or maybe far-sighted or normal. For example, for the left eye, let's say short sight. For its color, let's say blue, and is open to true. We need another eye in here for the right eye. The name should be right eye. Medical condition short-sighted once again. For its color blue, and is open to true. The next object is a heart, new heart. The organ name to heart. You can press down the control key and hover over the heart and see the constructor. Medical condition and rate. For medical condition, I'm going to say normal, and for the rate, let's say 70. The next item is a stomach. For the constructor, I need the organ name, which is stomach. Medical condition, let's say healthy. Also, we need a boolean if it's empty or not, which I'm going to pass false. We need the skin as well. New skin, organ name, skin, medical condition, let's say burned this time. For the color, let's say white. For the softness, because it's burned, I'm going to say 40. Okay, we have created our patient object. Before everything, let's just print the patient's name and age. I can say plus patient dot get name, and for the age, patient dot get age. Okay, I'm going to create a boolean in here, and we will see why I'm creating this. Boolean, let's call it should quit. Initially, I'm going to set it to false. After that, I need a while loop. We are going to loop until the user decides to quit the application. So, while should quit is not true. I'm going to show the user the options that he or she has. Let's print those options. Let's say choose an organ. You can type your different options by creating different system.println statement, or alternatively, you can say \n. This \n would go to the next line. Or you can add a \n in here. This \n seems weird, but basically what it does is that it will navigate the cursor to the next line, and you can continue your text from here. I'm going to the next line so that we could see better, a \n, and also we have another option in here, \t, which basically will add a tab to the text. For the first option, I'm going to say left eye, another \n/t. For the second option, let's say right eye, \n/t, heart. Also, we need another option for quitting our application. Then I need to receive the user's input by using a scanner. New scanner. I need to pass system.in as the input of this class. I need to save the user's input. I'm going to call it choice is equal to scanner.nextInt. Create a switch statement depending on that choice. I'm going to create all the different cases, and after that I will write the logic for each of those cases. Then I'm going to check that if the left eye is open or closed. I can say if patient.getLeftEye once again is open, then we will prompt the user with the option that he has. Let's add two tabs in here and say close. Then if scanner.nextInt is equal to 1, it means that if the user has entered number 1, I can say patient.getLeftEye.close, the method that we have created in our eye class. Let me show you what am I talking about, this one in here, or this closing here. But else, if the left eye is not open, I can say the option would be close or would be open. Once again, if the scanner.nextInt is equal to 1, then patient.getLeftEye.open this time. I can copy all of these logics for the right eye as well, because the second organ was right eye. Control V, and I need to change all of these to right eye. Third organ was heart, so I'm going to show the details of the heart. Patient.getHeart.getDetails. Then I'm going to give the user the ability to change the heart rate. 2\t change rate, let's say. Once again, I need to check that if the scanner.nextInt is equal to 1, then ask for the new rate. Let's say int new rate is equal to scanner.nextInt, and after that patient.getHeart.changeRate, the method that we have created, to the new rate. Okay, the fourth organ was stomach. First of all, let's show the details of the stomach. Patient.getStomach.getDetails. The option that I'm going to give the user in here is digesting food. So let's add 2\t and let's say digest. If the scanner.nextInt is equal to 1, let's say patient.getStomach.digest. That's all we need in here, and for the skin, patient.getSkin.getDetails. Okay, I think our application is ready to test. I think I have written everything that we need. Just in this default case, I'm going to break out the while loop. So I need to change the should quit to true as well. Okay, let's run our application. Because it's the first time, I'm going to right click and run the program from the right click menu. We are receiving the patient's details, the name and the age. Let's choose an organ. For the left eye, for example, we can see the details of the eye. We have one option in here. If we enter 1, we can see the left eye has been closed. Let's open that eye. It's working fine. For the right eye, close and open it. It's working fine. For the heart, we are receiving the details. We are printing the heart rate and everything. Let's change the rate to, let's say, 75. But we need a message in here in order to tell the user to enter a new heart rate. We will add that later. Let's check the heart rate. It's 75. It's working fine. If we enter anything beside 1 in here, we shouldn't change the heart rate. Okay. 4 for the stomach. You can see the details of the stomach. 1 for digesting. Digesting has begun. 5 for the skin. You can see the details of the skin. And also 6 for quitting the application. It's working fine. Let's just add that message for the heart. In case, I think it was 3. Change the rate. Yes, in here we need another message. Enter new heart rate. Okay, our application is done. Let's just delete all those getters and setters that we didn't need. For example, the ones that hasn't been highlighted in here means that we never use them. So let's delete these. In the I class, open and close, we have used them, get details, but these one in here, we never use them. Heart, get and set rate, never used. For the stomach, is empty and set empty, never used. For the skin, these never have been used. Also for the patient itself, seems like we never used set age. I don't think we ever used a setter method. I shouldn't have generated the setters, but that's okay, we are deleting them in here. Let's run our application once again and see if everything is working fine. Seems like we have an error in here. For the I, we need the getter. Getter for is open. Let's run it once again. Okay, it's working fine, but if you remember in the default, I said that we are going to quit the application. It means that if I put anything beside these 6 numbers, it should quit the application. So let's say 9, for example. Application has been finished running perfectly. Okay, this was a simple challenge. I just wanted you to get your hands dirty with the concepts of the object-oriented programming. In the next video, we are going to talk about different collections in Java. So stay tuned for the next video and see you there.